The structure of the audio element is similar to the image element, with a few differences. Unlike image, the audio element has both an opening and a closing tag. It's more modern, and having both an opening and closing tag gives it more power and flexibility. Now, just like the image element, we use a source attribute to provide the URL to the file, in this case, the audio file. There's more than one audio file format we can use, and I'll talk about which formats are best in a few minutes. For now, let's just link to this MP3 file. So, what does this do? Well, actually, nothing very useful yet. We need to tell the browser that yes, in fact, we do want the browser to provide some control. A play button, a timeline, a volume control. Using the controls that are built into the browser is optional. We could instead make our own custom controls using JavaScript and the HTML Media Element API. But let's not do that. Let's add the word controls as an attribute. If controls is there, it means true, yes, please do include them. Boom. Now we have an audio player on the page. We can play, pause, and change the volume, see the time code, jump around in the timeline. The audio element is a good example of the power of HTML to provide a bunch of functionality that maybe we just don't want to bother to build ourselves. We can use what the browser provides. There are several other attributes that we can use with audio. Loop will make the file loop. When it gets to the end, it starts playing from the beginning again.
I didn't know.
Autoplay will cause the audio to be played automatically as soon as the page loads, at least in some browsers. Now be careful with autoplay. Most people actually hate it when the audio starts playing automatically when they land on a web page, so maybe don't use that one. So why do we have both an opening and closing tag? That's so that we can use the source element to specify more than one audio file, much like we could the picture element. Perhaps you want to use a new file format that's not supported in every browser while providing a fallback for the older browsers. Let's remove the source attribute from the audio element and instead put it on a source element. This will do the exact same thing as our previous example, but now we can add additional source elements with alternative audio file formats. MP3s are supported in most modern browsers today. OGG is another file format that had some advantages, but it never became very popular. It seems that a new format may come out soon, the cousin to the AV1 video file format, but it's not quite here yet. So I don't really have a second audio file format to recommend using at the moment. But I want to show you the syntax for supporting multiple formats, since it was important for a while, and it's likely to be very useful again sometime in the near future. We can make multiple files and list them in separate source elements. The browser will use the first file that it understands in the list. This is how the syntax works. You can also provide some fallbacks text in here that will only be displayed if the audio element is not understood by the browser at all. This is a good example of the resilience built into HTML, where you can write one set of code and provide a wide variety of browsers what each of them need to give some kind of experience to their users. The audio element is a great way to get an audio file along with a player onto a web page. The power of the web has revolutionized the way that we connect and share experiences. Film, television,